very important too. Yes, you can also note down whatever idea that comes to you. So we will understand again before I go to the next verse. Understand. What is understanding is knowledge. What is knowledge? Do I have a right knowledge about this mouse? How do I know it? If I ask you what is this, you say mouse. Language may be different. Pay attention. Language may be different. In Ukraine, Dennis is attending, or in any language, anywhere. But this mouse does not become an elephant. That is the proof that I have a knowledge. Clear? I have a knowledge. Knowledge does not change. Knowledge does not change. You wake up in the morning, I'm happy. Afternoon, you are unhappy. Which one is true? You have changed yourself. You have changed yourself. Late in the afternoon, he has lot of money. That's why he has no problem. I have lot of problem. Again, you have changed. Who am I? I am constantly changing. Means knowledge about me is constantly changing. Is ignorance. Are you getting it? Is ignorance. One guy has an episode that he said that I have become an insect and it is very difficult to get rid of it. We went to a psychotherapist. Psychotherapist, in psychotherapist they do counseling and I do coaching. That's we both do talking. So so a psychotherapist, brought a very big mirror and he put the client in front of the mirror and couple of insects also. And then he started talking. Look at yourself, look at the insect, look at, you two are different. You can recognize the insect. Insect does not recognize you. So ultimately, after a couple of hours, he got rid of the problem. So he left the clinic of the psychotherapist. He went outside and then he was walking. He saw a lot of chickens. He ran back to the psychotherapist. You know what happened? He said, now what happened? You're not an insect, you are a human being. You can make a decision. No, I understand. But how the chicken can understand that I'm not an insect? That is what is happening. That is what is our ignorances. When our master says that you are peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom, in the next moment, I have a lot of stress. I have a lot of stress. Finished. You're gone. Your intellectual understanding has gone. So intellect must descend down into the mind to bring that realization that I'm the peace and happiness all the time. No, I have a lot of stress, but I'm in peace and happiness. Then you are crazy. You did not understand anything. You did not understand anything. In the very beginning, I told you what is knowledge. Knowledge does not change. So I laid down the context, and let us now go back to what this master says. Master says in a metaphor that what is master says? Master says infinite space. He represents the infinite space as a pure consciousness, which I am, which we are. And then enclosed space, the ghata akash, pot space, is the real self. Do you remember that I told you the space inside the pot is same, not different, with the infinite space? With the reference to the entire world, it is the infinite space. With reference to the body, it is the real self. Now, in that pot space, you put the water, becomes the water space, tea space. You can change it. That is what I say. I'm happy, I'm unhappy, I'm stressed, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm white, I'm black. Jalakasha, water space. And the fourth space, in that water space, I see the entire world also. That causes the delusion. So by giving this metaphor of four spaces, I'm using a wrong word. There is only one space. It appears there are four spaces, but the fact it is one space. We feel that there are so many consciousnesses, but fact is that there is only one consciousness. What a beautiful metaphor. Consciousness here is the space. So this master explains the nature of the awareness, or awareness of the consciousness. Consciousness and awareness is the same. Consciousness is like a space. I have no objection. Anyone attends the session. Sam was asking me that, if I can invite my friends. Your friends recognize you that you are crazy and you are attending the session. They will also brand me as crazy guy. What will happen now? Who will be harmed? No, I'm not harmed. You are. They will keep a distance with you. Oh, he's attending a session, so that's crazy beard guy. I can tell you, I have no problem. You blame me, you brand me as a crazy guy, I have no problem. You have to change yourself first. Set an example. When you set an example, oh, you are so calm. What you have been doing, I'm attending the session of beard guy who made me calm. That will prove that you have achieved something. Before that, nothing will going to happen. Understand that. That is very important. Anyhow, come back. So what I said, pay attention to it. Knowledge means a definition of that object never changes, remains the same. I told you about the mouse. No one says that the mouse is an elephant or mouse is a dog or that a mouse is a computer. No one says. What is your definition? What is your definition? I'm happy, I'm unhappy. You have given two definitions. I'm rich with reference to one person. I'm poor with reference to Bill Gates. I've changed my definition. My ego ego is screwed up. And I feel a lot of changes. Then I start running and working hard. I get absorbed. I become unconscious of what I'm doing. My ego keeps on working. And then I had a good sleep. Next day I wake up in the morning and I say I have a headache. All the labels have changed. The knowledge about what I am has changed. This is ignorance. I believe you all are getting it. It's not a big deal. Yes, it is a big deal. We are all suffering from that ignorance. That is why we are suffering, my friends. hot space or enclosed space is I am. But the space is one, so I am also the infinite space. If the space is one, my nature did not change, means I am. That never changes. I am of the nature of the consciousness. Now let us go a little further. Does the space become the doer or the experiencer? The space inside the pot and the space outside the pot, both the spaces have different labels, color, shades. No, space is the same. It cannot be the doer. It cannot be the experiencer. Consciousness cannot be the doer and the experiences. That is I am. It's a deeper. After this session, once next Saturday, we'll go to the next verse. I'm laying a foundation of that. So that space is not changing. Are you clear? That I am consciousness is not changing. It is not a doer. It is not an experiencer. That's why I gave an example of this mental patient who said, I know it that I'm a human being, but how the chicken knows that I'm a human being? They will treat me as an insect and they will eat me. So I give a label to myself. You all know that I am a teacher and I live with it. That is ignorance. My honey knows that I'm husband. That is ignorance. But should I not use it? Yes, use it for the sake of convenience. But internally, I'm fully aware. Who am I? I'm consciousness. I am one pure consciousness of the nature of reason. No, my honey makes me crazy. You're gone. You're gone. Finished. We have to live into that extraordinary awareness all the time. It is not changing. I literally said, go to the mouse. Knowledge definition of this mouse will never change. I change my definition of I am all the time. You can say that is ego, that is illusion, that is delusion, that is ignorance. I change my definition. So the moment I change my definition, let me become aware. What is happening? What I did? I'm harming myself. It is not definition. The knowledge never changes. Am I aware of this? Now let us know who we are. Knowledge means definition of a thing, means I am does not change. That I am. Then I know myself. But the moment I am changes, it is ignorance. And that ignorance will cause the suffering. Are you getting it? Say yes. Even if you don't get it, you have the audio files to look. That is why I said, I'm happy, I'm unhappy. I'm white, no, I'm not white, I'm whitish. So it depends on if a very black person is beside me, then I'm white as compared to you see that I am has no value at all. And before Sam, I am black. I constantly change myself. What is the definition of your I am, my friends? Tell me. What is your definition? And if the definition is changing, you are bound to be in stress. Knowledge is that which does not change. So sometimes we label, I'm crazy, I'm happy, I'm good, I'm short, I'm tall, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm white, I'm black, I'm stressed, etc. Long list. Long list. You cannot even count it. How many times we have labeled which we are not. We gave a wrong definition. That is the false conception about oneself. And as long as, and it, the ego comes, it is the ego. And that ego is the inferiority complex. Ego has a superiority complex. I am does not have it. Are you getting it? I am does not have that complex. But I am will superimposed by these labels. Now, another way to understand it. Another way to very important to understand. I want more money. Why? Physical necessity. Obviously, I also ask. I don't want money. I want I am with the money. Are you understanding? See, I want to marry. Why I want to marry? I was not aware at the time of my marriage. I tell you, I was crazy. So when I want to marry, no, not at all. I want I am, that I am as a husband, that I am as a wife, because that label gives me some kind of a false sense of security, pleasure, or happiness. Because I follow the morality and ethics, so I want to marry. You pick up what you want. You don't want a thing in your life. Be very clear. You don't want a thing. You want that I am should change its label so that I would be happy. It's a very serious, very subtle. If you get that very subtle, I want to be a coach. So I am shifting from the present non-coach to I am a coach. It's very simple, but it's very challenging. I have to live into that state. I'm conscious, so I am consciousness. Finished. Now I want money for the food. It is not giving any label to you. Yes, you should earn money. Basic needs it. But I want money to buy a mansion. That I am is a mansion. That I am is a husband, that I am is a wife, that I am is a stress, that I am is unhappy, that I am is happy. And then we fall into ignorance. That I am good, I am bad. I'm good and bad. Tell me who you are. Who you are. Who you are. Now, today I'm in stress, but after listening to you, I'll be happy. Again, you made a mistake. Saturday's session is not about becoming something, it is recognizing the being. Yeah, Monday, Thursdays. Yeah, we will follow other principles. No, today Look at it. This is the journey of the Eastern wisdom. You say, I do not understand. You gave I am the label. Now ask yourself why you want to give a label of I am rich, I am poor, I am stressed. Why you want to give a label? Ask yourself why you want to give a label. Why you don't want to be what you are already? Why don't you recognize what you are already? Why you want to give a label? I want money, you want to give a label. I want to marry, you want to give a label. I want to be coach, you want to give a label. I want to be rich, you want to be given. You already have a sense of incompleteness. That is why you want something from outside. Yes, you should write down if you feel writing down, if you want to listen it again and again. So you see that what I want, behind that there is a sense of incompleteness, but the consciousness is complete. The space inside the pot and the space outside is one. Are you getting it? It is such a clear from where we started. Knowledge, definition of a thing, definition of this guy I am. Definition of this guy I am is consciousness. Now you change the definition by saying I want anything. I want anything. I already have a sense of incompleteness. And that sense of incompleteness is ignorance, is veiling the consciousness in me, which I am. I am happy. So I have created a wall between happiness and unhappiness. I am unhappy. Did you understand? I'm going step by step. So I am the label. I don't want money. I want a label to I am rich. If you are rich, can you sleep in 10 beds, 10 bedroom at the same time? Answer is big no. We don't realize this. And the craving continues, the craziness continues in our life. I want to marry. I am husband now. I am wife now. And now see what happens, because there is a sense of incompleteness. then what happens? Expectations. I want to meet my expectation from you because I am husband and I am wife. So the problem continues throughout the life. You drop it. You return to what you are. I am. You are free. You live with your wife, you live with your husband, you live with the kids, you live with anyone. Anyone. Who cares? You are free. When? Here and now. Here and now you are free. Outside you're living carelessly, but inside you are extraordinarily aware. Why? You are that awareness, you are that consciousness. There is no sense of incompleteness, so the mind cannot start craving, desiring, I want. I'm again stressing, are you understanding? I am, I want. Two things. I am consciousness. And because I'm conscious. Now I want. What I want for meeting my basic necessities, I want to go to the restroom. You go and come back. No issue. I want food. No issue. but I want to be rich. Emotional, psychological dependence on something outside, that breeds the ground of incompleteness. I forget that what I am. Now I want to be happy. Once I become happy, I will be full. You can never be fulfilled full by wanting. In even with the enclosed space, reflected space, obscured space, you are still the infinite space. Now go back to that, huh? Go back to that metaphor. Infinite space, enclosed space with a part, water space, reflected space. And now in that reflected space, the entire world is being projected. So that is obscure. So you are aware of it. You are aware of the enclosed space, and still you know what I am. You don't change the definition of I am. Are you getting it? You don't change the definition of I. Knowledge means clarity, conviction, 100% clarity what I am. I don't have a clarity what I am. That is why I'm suffering. That is why I am suffering. How many days of stress you have, Sam? Oh, for the last 1 week. No, no, I'm not in stress. The entire world is crazy. I'm very happy, isn't it? Say yes. Understand. See that I am, that I am definition does not change whether I recognize the enclosed space, whether I recognize the water space, whether I recognize the obscured space of the entire world here and now. I am does not change. I am definition of anything does not change, means I have clarity, I have conviction, and I live into that awareness. Anytime after 10 years you ask me what is this, I will say it is mass. Isn't it? We woke up yesterday, I had a lot of stress. I couldn't sleep today. That I am. So the label, I'm rich, I'm poor, I'm black, I'm white, I'm good, I'm bad, I'm good, I'm bad. Long list. Can you figure out, can you count the numbers of I am we have? That is ignorance. Numbers, millions of I am since we become mature, so called mature. And that is our mental immaturity. Ignorance is I keep on making I am. Ignorance is I keep on becoming I am. I don't recognize what I am. I keep on becoming I am on the surface, enclosed space, water space, obscured space. That is suffering. We live, we suffer, we die, we take another birth. Because, that cycle continues on the surface. That is what the Buddha said, cycle of birth and the death. That is what every day one I am is born, but the previous I am is died. Second I am, third I am is born, fourth I am dies. That is the life cycle of birth and death. Don't start thinking, don't go back to the previous birth and this one. Here, Buddha is saying, past, yesterday. Yesterday I was dead. I'm dead now. For the yesterday. That is the cycle of birth and death. And we fall into hallucinations, What I was in the previous birth, you were you were insect, psychiatrist. That is why I started with that example. I don't want to leave. He saw the chicken. He says, okay, I understand that I'm not an insect, but chicken does not know. Chicken will eat me. So I have unknown fears in my life. Unknown fears, which has no basis at all. So there are many chickens moving in the world. Maybe that chicken in the form of a richer than you, a poorer than you, where you can differentiate and give a different label to I am. So there are millions of chickens moving in the world that obscures. No, did I tell you the fourth metaphor? Four? Where I said infinite space, enclosed space, pot space, water space, and in the water space, it is the obscure space. Millions of the chickens are moving up. Any chicken is ready to eat you. No, keep smiling, don't be so serious. You have to contemplate and think, I am definite, I am. Definition of I am is 100% clear. For the sake of convenience, you can say, I'm happy with you, I'm nice with you, I'm good, I have a headache, for the sake of convenience. But internally, that I am is not changing at all. And that I am did not change since our birth. It is not going to change. It is the infinite, it is eternal. So our master, great master Krishna says in the Gita, Buddha says in a different way, but let me talk about. So that I am is beyond time. That is why that I am is eternal. Now you understand. Other I am is not eternal. I was unhappy yesterday, now I'm happy. To I am. But behind that I am, that is why we say that I am, that means consciousness goes beyond the space and time. So it is eternal. Now, if it is beyond the time, if it is eternal, it has to be beyond the name and the form. Otherwise, it has to be beyond the. So that is why we say it is the truth. What is the definition of a truth? This is the definition, which is beyond the space and which is beyond the name and the form, and which is beyond the time. And because it is beyond the time, it is eternal, it is beyond, it is truth. That is why it is all pervading. Because if anything is the truth, then the truth is pervading everywhere. What it means, I am all pervading. Declare, I am all pervading. I am all pervading. That is the beauty of this journey. I am all pervading. Only three attributes, three characteristics of the self. I cannot be an object of knowledge. You are at present my body, mind complex is an object of your knowledge. Your body and the mind is an object of my knowledge. I'm a knower of that body and mind. That is why I recognize you are David, you are Dennis, and you are Terry, Sam, and Stephen, and Ashok. I cannot be the object. Why? Why? Because I'm not a name, I don't have a name in the form. And I'm going beyond the time. So I cannot be the object. Means what? I cannot say through my sense organs in the mind. Whatever I see through my sense organs in the mind is a label, nothing more than that. I'm craving for my label. Label, rich guy, label, poor guy, label, crazy guy, label, happy guy. Nothing exists. Are you a husband? Yes. Show me, where is your husband? Where is the husband in you? Show me. You're a rich guy. Show me the richness in you. Where is your richness? No, no, you see that, you see outside. No, I want to know you. No, you see outside. That is ignorance. What do you see outside? I have a big house. I have 10 cars, etc., etc. Long list. Label. See that? So I cannot be objectified. I'm eternal. I'm truth. I'm all pervading. I cannot be objectified. Now tell me, is the consciousness the doer and the experiencer? You build a house, the space today has changed from yesterday. The space does not act. Space is not a doer and the experiencer. Space is what is. What is. It is not what should be. So it means I'm neither the doer nor the experiencer. I do not modify. I cannot be modified. Haha. Then what happens? I am pure consciousness of the nature of peace, happiness, love, truth, and wisdom. That is what the real self is. Where it is here enough. You need not to produce it. You need not to manufacture it. The moment you think of manufacturing and producing, you have created another I am. And that is obscuring, that is veiling the real I. We are gone. We are in ignorance. We are suffering. We are suffering. You want to understand a little more? The beauty of this metaphor is so deep. I want money to be rich. Another perspective. Be clear. Clarity and conviction should be there. So I want money because I have a sense of incompleteness. That is why I want money to be rich. So I'm already small. So one small I am plus richness I am. That is another I am. I am rich, not as rich as Bill Gates. So I'm still small. So too small I am. Too small I am makes you smaller. It cannot make you bigger. Think of it. Find out. That is the problem. We do not understand. I told you the definition of I am should not change. That means the right knowledge. That means the conviction and clarity. I want to marry. So I have a feeling of incompleteness, right? So one small I am wants to marry. Plus, now I got married, husband. I am sense of incompleteness. I am husband, which is also limited. I cannot be, should I say that? I cannot be husband of everyone. So obviously I'm limited. And both plus equal to small I am. I created three I am. I struggle with the three I am. I forget the real I. That is known as the obscured. That is what I said in the metaphor. What is the metaphor? This master gives the metaphor. First is the infinite space. Infinite space is all pervading. There is no space, there is no time. It is the truth. Enclosed space, but it is the same space. Now, the water space. I forget that space. I forget I'm the infinite. I see I'm the water space, the reflected consciousness. That is the mind. And that mind creates millions of I am. I just gave an example of one small I am. I want to marry, I want to be rich, I'm white, I'm black, etc. It's a long list. Long list. Millions. And then what is the obscured space in that? The entire world of the name and the form. Want to be rich, I want to be poor. I cannot move my body. But you don't declare that I'm the body. Terry, you're not the body. I am. The moment you say I'm the body, you're gone. That is the beauty of this metaphor. One small I am, one small I am always seeks and craves, always seeks and craves, wants. Now, what do you want is another I am. So when you add one I am that you are wanting with another I am that you got, it results into smaller I am. It cannot make you big. Once you understand this, then you live in this world in peace and happiness all the time. You need not to worry. I'm beautiful. Take an example. I'm beautiful is one thing. Why? Consciousness is always beautiful. Consciousness is beautiful. It's full of peace and happiness. But now I want to be more beautiful. So you have a sense of incompleteness. You stand before the mirror for 2 hours, put all the cosmetics. So secondary I am, one is incomplete I am is equal to smaller I am. Why I say smaller? You become less beautiful. I'm expecting at least you should say that, oh, you look so beautiful. If no one says, I'm gone. I'm gone. Finished. Then I have to buy another set of cosmetics which will make me beautiful. The journey will continue. That is what the cycle of birth and the death. That is the beauty of this Eastern wisdom. Knowledge. You settle with the knowledge, I am. Finished. You're done. Close your eyes. Eyes are closed. Eyes are closed and no, I need not to say anything. We don't become anything. Pay attention to that. So when I say that, you look at the neck joint, you simply look there. It is an awareness that I am behind, and who is looking? Reflected consciousness, the mind is looking. And that I am is already separate, but the I am created by the mind. That I am created by the mind is looking at the neck joint, and you are feeling sensation, comfort, and still keep on. No worries. You don't forget I am. If you forget I am, then what happens? No, now I become comfortable. You are already comfortable. Consciousness cannot become uncomfortable. So, look at the entire body. Who is looking? It is the reflected consciousness. But I am is not present. Yes, without I am, that consciousness, without the presence of that I am, mind cannot work. So I'm just a witness. I'm just watching. Go ahead. I'm living into that state. I know what I am. And that reflected I am is looking at the entire body. That mind is experiencing now. Experiencer is the mind, is the reflected consciousness, is the false I, is experiencing sensation, comfort, and steadiness. Let me feel it. Let me experience this. What a big deal. But the moment you say, now I feel more comfortable, is your false I. To superimpose, obscure the real I. That is what I was talking before. Why? The real I is neither an experiencer nor the doer. But who is listening your instructions? You can ask. In the presence of I am, the real I, the mind is listening the instructions, and mind creates a false I. Did you get it? Being carefree, so that false I first knows that the thoughts are coming and going, but behind that there is I am is always present. Where there is a false I, where there is a mind, there is always a real I, because the mind cannot function without the real I. Where you are watching the thoughts, who is watching the thoughts? Reflected consciousness is watching the thought. Does the does what I am, which is a pure consciousness, need to watch the thought? Not at all. Not interested. Why? That I am is already in peace and happiness. What are you saying? Yes. Oh, so the thoughts are coming and going. You have variety of experiences. Variety of experience. Yes, they are coming and going. How can you be any thought? How can you have variety of experiences which is constantly changing? There is something which you can say I am is present in all the experiences, in presence of all the thoughts coming and going. That I am is always present, whether you have a thought or you don't have it. Whether you are comfortable, you are not. So there is a mixture of the I label I am, the real I. That is what the master is explaining, the obscured consciousness, the fourth state of the consciousness. Any change is happening, how do you know? Your experience. You feel some different sensation. You have a vision. Before that, you did not have it. You had a thought now. Before that, you did not have it. So you are aware of that change and you are not the change. Simply, you need to be aware that you are not the change. You need to be aware. Do you need to make an effort? No. You witness, you know it. Thoughts, feelings, sensation, imagery, noises outside, no noise in outside, anything and everything in that state, that I am is the infinite consciousness, is the infinite space here in this metaphor. Nothing happens to the space. 9/11 happened, war is still happening in different parts of the world. My body goes into this room and then changes the room, goes to the bedroom, the space does not change. Do you feel that this space, that space changes like the water? When you put your body into the bathtub, the water is displaced. No, the space is not displaced. That is the nature of the consciousness. Knowledge, I am. I gave you a reference, knowledge of the mouse does not change. That is the correct definition of a thing. Where is correct definition of a thing? That it is the knowledge. Where is your correct definition of the I am? The moment you say I'm happy today, I was unhappy yesterday, you're gone. It is reflected consciousness. It is the mind. It is your ego. And still that I am is present behind the reflected consciousness. That we fail to recognize and we keep on living in ignorance and we continue to suffer. Pick up any metaphor that I gave you. I want to. So this is small I am. When I get it, that is what I got is also small I am. You add both, you get a smaller I am. You don't get a bigger I am. So again, the mind lives in ignorance. It asks what I have to do now. Now, just be aware of the now. That's all. Delete the previous words. What I have to do, delete it. Now. That now is I am. What I have to do is a part of the false I, reflected consciousness, the mind. It is, after all, a thought. So you recognize that thought and you're there. I am. Even I need not to say anything, but just a reminder. We need a clarity again and again. Recognize this is the mouse in that example. I have a right and correct definition of the I am. We have to do, we have to contemplate and reflect on these principles again and again and again until we recognize the I am, that is all, once and for all. That is known as an awakening or self knowledge or realization. So sometimes the reflected consciousness goes to the body and experiences sensation, etc. It's okay. Sometimes it goes to the breath, it's okay. Sometimes it goes to the thought, okay. But behind that, I am is constant. Again, I'm just making a clarity. So it's all about understanding who am I? Obscured space? No. Reflected water space? No. Enclosed space? Yes. In a sense, I'm the real self with reference to the body. I'm infinite with reference to the infinite space. Um, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Um, Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both of arms, place it on your eyes. Open the eyes inside the palms. Know your experiences. Bring the hands down. We'll share our experiences if you have any question. Yes, you're most welcome. How are you, David?
Sir, I'm very good. The lesson, the power of simply I am, was just mind blowing and created the deepest, like very, very extremely deep meditation because I was just at peace with I am. And
Beautiful.
this will give me lots to reflect on. I really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yes, lots to reflect on. And you rightly said that gave me the peace the moment I am. And that is why we say, I am of the nature of peace and happiness, without doing anything. Beautiful. David, how are you, Stephen?
Thank you. It was great. Just going through the trying to simplify the whole concept of it and realizing that consciousness never changes. So therefore, I am is what consciousness is, and everything else is, as you pointed out, labels that are driven by desire and ego, which is just ignorance. And my focus was clearly towards just understanding how simple the existence of I am and consciousness is, and that leads to the nature of peace, happiness, truth, and wisdom. And it's just it was just became very, very clear. So and then
Beautiful.
my meditation was just, again, just in a place of quiet and calm and happy. So thank you.
Beautiful, beautiful, Stephen rightly said. I am understanding. How are you, Jerry?
Thank you, sir. I'm good. Um, it was very peaceful, and what came to my mind was that consciousness is always there, and what I was thinking about is kind of like it's we live from that place. It's always the peace is always with us, that love, that truth, that wisdom, and then we apply it. So it's kind of like my mind thought about you. What if you just didn't show up on Tuesdays and Thursdays? Or one Saturday you just said, oh, sorry guys, I forgot to show up. You don't do that. You've made a commitment to us, and to yourself, and you show up, and you never don't show up for us. And that's how, and you do that from that conscious place,
Yeah,
intellect, wanting to show up. And I think that that's how we apply this true nature ourselves, is how do we want to show up? and
yeah,
and and if we realize that that's what we are, that we are peace, love, truth, wisdom, that never changes, then that's how we show up to everything.
beautiful. Every time I show up is I am. You see my reflected consciousness as the body and the mind. Yeah, that's a beautiful contrast. That's a beautiful way to present it. Beautiful, Jerry. How are you, Dennis?
Thank you. A lot of things I wrote down for further reflection and contemplation. But one thing that stands out that I wrote down is that we are all seekers of labels, in the sense that we seek happiness by associating with different labels, by becoming a label, and this ever-changing becoming obscures the real I am.
You're right.
And then when in meditation, I was thinking about this awareness and what exactly this remaining aware is. And what came to my mind is this the remaining aware is a continuous recognition of what I am not, and an ability
Yeah,
to dissociate from everything of the name of the form.
defines what I am not. The continuous nature of the consciousness helps me to recognize what I am not, where I give label to. And the second point just prompted in my mind just now. When I say I want money to be rich, so I'm already one small I am, then the money is also a small I am, is equal to smaller I am plus more money. So it adds a smaller I am. That is where the craving is. That is where the problem is. That is where the craving is. And we continue to live our life in craving, frustration, and depression. That is another point we have to recognize it. Beautiful. How are you, Sam? Mute, mute, unmute.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir. Namaste, sir.
Your message was very clear. I don't have a lot to say other than that, everybody is teaching us a lesson, right? And what I mean by that is you taught us a lesson today, but everybody here taught us a lesson as well. And what's hard when we have our ego involved is that everybody comes to us when we're born, when we're young, as a teacher, and we develop this ego that we need to listen to everybody, and we build this big label upon ourselves. The latest, and I've shared this with my uncle, and I've avoided sharing with you all because it makes me.
You shared with your uncle Stephen?
Yeah, that's my uncle. Yeah, he's my uncle.
Why Stephen is not crazy after listening to you?
Hopefully not, but that my life is best when it feels like an act. It feels like I'm in a movie, and that we're all actors. And if you can view it that way, that we're all actors in our own movie, all of the people that teach you with their ego, with their real self, with the cold shoulder, with any of the methods you've taught us, right? They teach us a lesson. Every moment teaches us a lesson, and we just have to respond to it and not react to it. And I've been wondering all of this time, has this whole thing been an act? And it has been, because that's what life is. It's an act. My parents get frustrated with me. They think I'm bipolar. They think I'm tripolar. My sister thinks I'm bipolar.
Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead.
Your whole conversation is directed outside. Bring it inside. That will change you. Otherwise, this is just a gossip.
Right.
How are you, Terry?
I followed you the whole time.
Yeah.
I had the question. I'm not sure if it's relevant though. I was going to ask if consciousness without the mind and without any perceptive organs, can it know anything? I mean, or does it have to manifest in order to know?
Beautiful and most beautiful question, and answered by this master in later verses. But we should also, because consciousness is complete in itself, that I am is complete in itself, so it does not need any manifestation. But to recognize that consciousness, we need a mind and the sense organs. So we can point out that here is the consciousness. So who can point out it is the mind?
But if we
otherwise
are the conscious,
yes, we are the consciousness.
Then without our, if the body were to disappear,
without the mind, now mind disappears, body disappears, the consciousness continues.
Does it know that it can?
The very consciousness is knowledge. So when the very consciousness is the knowledge, it knows itself by itself.
But doesn't know something, because that would be objectified.
It knows everything that is objectified through the mind.
Yeah.
It need not to know.
And there's no need to know, because
no need.
The one that needs to know is the mind. Yeah. Consciousness does
the sunlight lights everything, every object.
It doesn't.
It does not need a candlelight.
and sunlight isn't looking around trying to
It's
see.
not looking around for anything. It is just for the sake of joy. It lights everything. We feel it is lighting everything, but the sunlight just sends all the rays of the light to every object.
To think of consciousness in its pure form is just it's so impossible.
Pure consciousness is always there. If it is polluted, then we could not find it, because it is unchanging. What changes can be polluted. What does not change cannot be polluted. Space cannot be polluted.
Yeah.
Yes, you're asking good questions, Yes, that is good questions. Space cannot be polluted because space is unchanging. So what is unchanging cannot become impure.
Mhm.
Yes, these are subjective questions. See the difference, Sam?
But when I was Sam's age, I thought my life was a movie. I really did. So I think that's very interesting.
That is one label. You have created a movie.
I was trying to explain to myself that way.
Now you are consciousness. Where is Ashok? Is Ashok is there?
Namaste, sir.
Namaste, sir. We see total darkness. No worries. You can
There
see.
is some problem. There is some problem in my camera, so I
Okay,
can't
okay.
see the,
No problem. No problem. No problem.
can't see the picture. So meditation was very good, and I'm peace and calm. Nothing to ask. Thank you so
Nothing
much.
to ask. Very good. So, my friends, you go back, listen to it, contemplate, and reflect again. That is all for today. Thank you.
Namaste,
Thank you.
sir.
Namaste.
Namaste,
And
everyone. Thank you.